dudes, what's up? So today's video is something that I've not done before, but I feel like it's interesting enough to make a video about. The whole reason why I even thought to make this was because last night I was on a Discord call with one of my friends and we were talking about haunted places, and it sparked this memory for me that pops up every once in a while, just kind of out of the blue, and and it's been something that has been with me since high school. So that is abandoned amusement parks, and one in particular is the whole reason why I even wanted to make this video, because that's the one amusement park that's been basically like haunting me since high school. I used to follow a Twitter page that was for like creepy abandoned places, and like every day they would post like 4 pictures of like one abandoned place, and it was this one picture from this abandoned amusement park that really freaked me out, and it's just stuck with me for so long. And like I said earlier, it pops up in my life and my thoughts like every once in a while, just completely randomly, and I'll forget about it until then, and then it's like it pops up and I'm like, oh yeah, that place, and then I have to go look at pictures and freak myself out all over again. I figured it would be a lot of fun to share that place as well as a couple other places with you guys, because I personally feel like there's something so chilling and so haunting about abandoned places that used to be like a place of fun and a place of amusement, if that makes sense. Here we have Six Flags, and so if I were to go to my Six Flags now, it's like it's a place of fun, there's people all over the place, there's these tall rides. It doesn't look out of place because it's a place filled with life. But if you take all of the people and all of the life out of the amusement park, suddenly it's just extremely creepy. I just find something so interesting about abandoned amusement parks. Abandoned places in general are creepy, but abandoned amusement parks are just, I feel like, on a whole nother level. So today I'm going to be talking about 3 different abandoned amusement parks, and I'm going to end with the one that I was talking about earlier, which is the whole reason for this video, because that's the one I find the most creepy. So if you want to know the one that haunts me all the time, stay until the last one. So the first abandoned amusement park I'm going to show you guys is the Land of Oz. So we all know the Wizard of Oz movies and stuff. It was very popular. There are many different renditions and plays about it, or of it. In 1970, they actually created a whole amusement park based off of the Wizard of Oz, and there were yellow brick roads and the Emerald City and all your favorite characters all in this one place that you could go and have the experience as if you were actually going to the Emerald City yourself. The park is in North Carolina in the United States, and in 1975, unfortunately, there was a big fire that destroyed most of the Emerald City, and kind of after that, it was just never the same, and unfortunately it did have to close down in 1980. In the 1990s, they started to do renovations on it to try to get it back to its state before the fires, but nothing really ever helped, and it was never reopened. However, it does open once a year in the summer where people can just go and walk the parks, see everything that it has become, and kind of get that like chilling vibe of an abandoned amusement park. I also saw online that you can book a wedding there. I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess you can book weddings there if you want like a fairy tale Wizard of Oz wedding, which would kind of be cool if you like creepy things. But now I figured we would just go through some pictures of it together. So personally, I feel like a lot of these pictures, and a lot of pictures of abandoned amusement parks maybe in general, are edited a lot to look a lot creepier than they actually are. But I feel like it just gives the vibe of it being creepy. Like these pictures I'm gonna put on the screen right here are of the famous yellow brick road, but leaves have fallen all over it, and so it looks kind of cluttered and bare. In some of these pictures you can see the trees with the faces on them. This looks like a bird cage, which honestly, this picture out of all the ones that I've shown so far is one of the creepiest to me. Structures that aren't supposed to be there, that are abandoned and just standing like kind of untouched, just look very creepy. And I'll show a couple more now without a voiceover just so you guys can get a couple more pictures in. So next up we have Six Flags New Orleans, which is a Six Flags that was in New Orleans. Some history about this park. It was originally opened and called Jazzland. It opened in the year 2000. Then in 2003, Six Flags kind of took it over and renamed it Six Flags New Orleans. And so since then it has had that name. But unfortunately in 2005, that devastating hurricane, Hurricane Katrina, came through and basically caused the park to be in 4 to 6 feet of standing water. Six Flags deemed it as way too expensive to fix all the damages that the hurricane had caused and basically tried to back out of their 75-year contract they had for that park. And they left it completely abandoned because it wasn't doing as well as their other Six Flags parks, so it wasn't too big of a loss if they could get out of that contract. There were a couple different businesses who tried to reopen it and change it into their own park. I believe Jazzland wanted to reclaim its name and reopen it, but it was just deemed that it was way too expensive to fix and then it really wouldn't go anywhere, so they just completely left it alone and now it just stands there totally abandoned. This one, to me, is more of the creepy abandoned amusement park. The Land of Oz was a themed one, whereas these are more of what I was talking about. Here we can see like an abandoned swing ride and some of it's broken off. Here's another picture of a roller coaster. It looked like people climbed up the stairs to get an aerial view. It looks like this was a water ride possibly that is just now even more water. This picture is what made me really kind of freaked out about this. This looks like it's an entrance to maybe a roller coaster or maybe an area for concessions or something. It says Cool Zone on the top, and just looking at it lifeless with the exposure and all the different edits on it turned up, it looks like it's straight out of a horror movie. Okay, so I'm super excited to talk about this last one. So this last one that we're going to be talking about today is the whole reason I'm doing this video. It's the amusement park that has literally been stuck in my mind since high school. So for about probably like 6-7 years, like it's been in my mind for a while. This amusement park is in Berlin, Germany, and it is called Spree Park. A little bit of history again. The park itself opened in 1969 and it was originally named something else other than Spree Park, but in 1991 it was taken over by Norbert Witt, who was a very controversial guy. He kind of had a little bit of a criminal background, so many people didn't really like him, and that kind of caused the park to lose attraction. It was very popular before, and it still was, but he started popping up all of these different attractions and things that people were just kind of like, well, we don't like you, we don't really like what you're doing to the park. So he lost a lot of business through that. And then I also believe he was caught in like some kind of drug smuggling thing. Like he either had it in a ride, I think he was transporting a ride somewhere else and he hid drugs in it. And so like really, really bad. Because of that, they closed down the park completely in 2002. Like the other ones, there were a few attempts to get it to reopen because at one time it was such a popular attraction and it was a good addition for Berlin, but ultimately it just never was reopened. In 2014, there was a fire that was started due to arson. It destroyed a lot of what was originally there, and so because of that, security was strengthened and borders were put in place, I believe, so now you can't get in unless you have a tour, which yes, you can go tour this park if you're ever in Berlin, which I think is kind of cool, and honestly, I would love to do that. So if you Google Spree Park just by itself, this picture will pop up, and this picture is the sole reason why this particular abandoned amusement park haunts me. For some reason, I can't pinpoint it, but this roller coaster tunnel of this dragon with all of the trees kind of grown in over it. I know this is gonna sound really crazy, but if I look at it for too long, I just feel very uncomfortable. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the vibrant colors in contrast to everything around it, or if it's the fact that it has such an open mouth and eyes, or if it's just standing there like untouched without life. I don't know what it is that scares me, but I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I feel like the further away, and if I can find the one picture I found years ago of it in the snow from far away, I'll put it up right now. But from far away, it's worse, in my opinion. I don't know what it is about it that scares me so much, but it really freaks me out. Some other things you'll see if you go to Spree Park. In the water, there are some geese boats, which I assume was once a ride where you could sit in the geese and have it drive you around a pond. A railroad track in the middle of an algae-filled lake now. There are dinosaurs laying on the ground. A Ferris wheel was once the main attraction, I believe, and now people say that if you go and the wind blows, it sounds very haunting to hear it kind of sway back and forth. And I read somewhere that at night it sounds like ghost whispering. There is the abandoned teacups, which I believe is another very popular part of the tour. But let me know what you guys think of the pictures I've shown today, or just of abandoned amusement parks in general. Like I said earlier in this video, I just think that there's something so creepy about seeing a place that was once filled with joy and excitement now looking so run down and sad. It just makes you feel kind of uneasy, and I think it's something cool if you're ever like wanting to go down a rabbit hole of like creepy pictures to look up abandoned amusement parks. I just think some of the imagery that people capture is just so haunting, and I just wanted to share that today. I know it's a little bit different. I feel like I say that all the time. This video is a little bit different. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys want more videos of me kind of exploring pictures of haunted places or abandoned places or things like that, let me know down below. I just really wanted to share Spree Park with you guys just because it's something I think is so creepy. So if I think it's creepy, there has to be at least another 1 or 2 people out there who also is gonna think the same way. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everybody!